Hi everybody. So here we have the Clank Uranograph, which is a digital synthesizer slash instrument with a built-in effect section and a dual tape looper system over here. I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video, but I just want to show you how to get started and start making sound right away. So first things first, if you're using the 1/4-inch jack outputs, then you want to make sure this volume is turned up here, and also make sure this volume is turned up because that's the main synthesizer volume. And this is the volume for the external microphone or instrument. Headphone volume is here, and then we have a click track volume right beside it, which is handy for having a click track when you're using headphones. Down here we have the pressure sensitive touch plate keyboard. It's very sensitive. You can set the sensitivity up here, have it exactly how you want it. When I press here, you can assign the pressure to control any of the synth's parameters. So the harder I press here will open the filter. And we can set that here with PO. So here it's off, and here it's full. Up next we have the synth voice, which is controlled by these 3 knobs here. We've got size, we've got tilt, and we've got wave folding going on. Which goes into a low pass filter. And here we've got Q or resonance. And then that goes into pan, so you've got left and right there. Then we have a modulation oscillator over here. So you've got sine wave, triangle, or square stepped wave. We can control the speed here. And then we can control the amount. And we can change the destination here. The size, tilt, fold. And we've got FM and AM. Over here we've got attack and release. Then we have a sub oscillator, square, triangle, and sine wave. We've got different octaves. Nice little sine there. We've got the amplitude. This part up here, we've got octave up and down. Self-explanatory. Then up here we have tremolo, which is kind of like a arpeggiator. If we hold some notes, we can make it faster. And then we've got staccato, which will make it sound more snappy. And then we have like a bend, which is like a slide between notes. Also good to know is this freeze button here. So if you press the icicle button, it will freeze whatever you're playing. Next, we've got modulation. We've got a few possibilities. The first is the touch control, like we showed. And then we have the LFO. Which is assigned to the filter. So we've got all the waves here, square, sine, and triangle. Another possibility is we've got these two touch plates. So if, let's say, instead of doing this and changing the amount of the LFO, we can do this. Hit P2. Or instead of doing this with reverb, we can hit P1 because that's mapped to the reverb amount. So these can be assigned to pretty much everything here, and LFO can also be assigned in the menu. So modulation can be set by pressing this button here. And then we have, if we scroll through, we can change between the LFO, P0, P1, and P2. Then we just click this knob and we can scroll through to what we want to modify. So pan, for example, would be yeah, so that's this button here with the two circles, and we go back to the keyboard by pressing this one, and then system settings on the third button. Okay, so next we have this pizza slice here, which is the effect section. We've got reverb and delay here. Here we've got the mix, regen, which is like a feedback, and then here we have the shift, which is the difference between left and right. So we can go like into a ping pong delay effect. So we turn up the feedback a bit. And then here is the delay time, so faster to really fast, resonation. Sorry, lots of fun that. And then we have the reverb, which can be small. Let's turn this down. A bit bigger. And then huge. So that brings us to the looper section. So we have a possibility to do two tracks of looping. So when the light is purple, like that, we can record a loop by pressing P3 and then P4 in that order. So bump bump means recording. So this is the volume now for this track. And you can do another track on volume 2. If we make it green, we can transpose what's on there. So once it's green, we can go up. We can make it faster. And then to delete 4 and 3. And that brings us to a clean tape. Okay, so that's the looper. And that brings us to the presets. Presets over here. If you hold this down, you can see that these keys light up. So now we can go through our presets like this. Nice. So if I have a preset like that, I can hold this and we've got P1 into save mode. So here comes save, and then I can just choose an empty slot and pick that, boom, preset saved on this key. I can also hold this down, and then by using the octave, I can go through banks 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 7 banks. So basically you can do that on the fly, and you can just hold that, boom, 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 and then jump through your presets like that very quickly. If you want to name your presets, you just hold that down, twist this knob, and you go into alphabet mode. And if you want to delete, you press the second button to enter erase mode, and then you pick which one you want to erase. But for now, we'll keep it in save mode. And that's how to save presets. One of the most interesting parts of the Uranograph is the keyboard layout and tuning. So it has the ability to, when you press this button, to make chords. You can see at the bottom here we've got 3 and -5, so we can set those values with these faders. So that's just by playing the first pad. If I move to the next pad, D4, I'm playing a D and the values are different. If I go to the next pad, E, so basically you can set a different chord for every pad or note you press on the keyboard. Also, we have this knob here. So this is the way to navigate around the screen. So we can actually choose those. We can choose between 50 different scales. So major, harmonic, minor, melodic, Dorian, all the way up to 50 scales. And yeah, lots of possibilities. But not only that, we can, if we want, we can change one note in the scale. So we could change it here just by clicking the knob. It's not starting in C anymore. Now it starts in E. We can transpose the whole scale then. Here. Or we can go right into the frequency of the note. And we can change that. We can get really precise with the frequency. And then, of course, we can change those notes. Just like with these faders, we can change that here with the knobs. So that was our explanation of the Uranograph. I hope you understand it a little better now if you own one or if you're thinking about getting one. There's also lots of information on the Clank website, and they have a great looking manual on there as well. Also, for updates, stuff like that, you can go to the Clank website. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye.